What's up, family? Welcome to Ask the Maat,
where we challenge you to stop playing and start pushing.
This is my impeccable wife, Aiyana.
And this is my adorable husband, Ayize. Alright, y'all, you are checking out our online advice column and blog. You're either looking at us through beintentional.com or you are checking us out on YouTube. Either way, welcome.
Welcome.
We're married. We have this little thing here. We love to give our advice.
Why you got your rings on if we married?
I'm sorry, I forgot to put my ring back on before we came and sat on the couch to do this.
Okay.
And we love to give our opinions. We answer your questions. We always keep it 100% real. So today we're answering a question from a young lady who has written in about her relationship, and I'm just going to go ahead and run down this very quickly. She says, I have been in a relationship for 6 years with a wonderful man that takes very good care of me, and for the last 4 years we have not had sex. I'll repeat that. For the last 4 years we have not had sex. He has no interest in having sex with me, nor is he seeing someone else. He said that he is only interested in my development, and my life can attest to how he has assisted me in my development. She says prior to meeting him, she wasn't doing well in school. She had very little work experience. She didn't know much about her history, African history, and she had just left a very dependent and abusive man. Now she only makes A's and B's. She's 2 classes away from achieving her BS degree in business administration. She has 6 years of work experience, and she has a better grasp of her African heritage. And furthermore, she says she's been in contact with her father for the past 2 years, who she had never met before. And this is all because of her willingness to listen to this man and his tireless efforts to assist her in her development. These are her words. She says, he is literally my refuge, and I cannot imagine life without him. However, she recently made an honest assessment of herself and doesn't feel she currently has the capability to choose the right type of man. So she kind of keeps him around right now as a sort of a shield. Okay, and she says, though, she does plan to slowly, respectfully, and surely separate herself from this man and maintain a friendship. But she'd like to just throw on there at the end, to just twist it up a little bit more, she really swears that she thinks about being with a high school crush that she could easily connect with on Facebook because it's been so long since she's had sex or intimacy from a man. But she wouldn't do that because that's not in her character. Oh, that's a good one, ain't it, y'all?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing that I think of is that this is bizarre.
Bizarre?
It's like bizarre. What's up with that? Okay, first of all, you run us down a story talking about how good this man has been for you.
Yeah, that's what was kind of confusing to me, because if he's so great, why are you trying to leave him?
Why are you trying to leave him, sis? I mean, if he's all that, he's been all this to your life, and then at the very end you say, I plan to separate myself. I'm just holding off because I don't think I'm in the place right now where I can make good decisions. But I do plan to do that and maintain a friendship. Bizarre. Doesn't add up. Number 2, sound like you're talking about your daddy. Don't sound like you're talking about someone who is someone that you love, that you're romantically involved with. You know, somebody's building you up in all of these ways. You know, somebody who you have a connection with, but not in that romantic and intimate way. And maybe that's why there hasn't been sex for 4 years. That's number 3.
Well, let me
no
speak
sex?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Let me speak on that. You say that it sounds like you're with a father figure, somebody who's been building you up for the past however many number of years. But what I would say is that while it may be a father figure, I think that really what it's a reflection of is that you possibly could have entered a relationship because there were some esteem issues. So, you know, he may have introduced you to several things and, you know, just opened you up, and you feel like your horizons have been broadened. But I asked the question to you whether or not, since you've been exposed to these things, have you gotten a better sense of self? Because you may have looked to him initially for a better sense of self and who you are. And now, do you feel like you've gotten that since you've been in a relationship with him? I
think that's a good point. I think that's a very good point. The other thing I want to say is that you said that you just met your father within the last 2 years, right? And so that says that your father hasn't been around. And oftentimes, women who have had an absent father, we oftentimes look for a father figure or some father-like traits. You know, we may not even be aware of it. It's very subconscious in our men, you know, in some shape, form, or fashion. And it seems like that dynamic is at play here. It's not always totally a bad thing. You know, but you have to be very, very mindful and be very vigilant about how that's manifesting in the relationship. The other piece I just want to jump on is what my husband just said when he talked about your self-esteem. And he said that you got in this relationship and it seems like he's opened you up to some different things and helped you to build yourself up. But I want to really ask you, have you made the transition from him building you up and giving you a sense of self? You know, watering and nurturing that sense of self, have you separated off to discern what is really you and what's not you? You know, like, you know when we're children, because you got this father-daughter dynamic going on, you really do in this relationship. We're children, we just take in everything our mom and dad tells us. Sometimes we're even a little rebellious about it or whatever, but it just comes into us. And when we get older, the things that we said we would never do, we do it anyway, because that's how important they are to us. Are you still in that space? Are you functioning in that kind of space? Or are you able to see what's really real, what you believe and what you don't believe? Or does this man have some kind of a, I don't know,
hypnotic
spell over you or something? It just don't seem right. Bizarre. I'm just gonna keep saying that word. This is bizarre, but it's not bizarre in the sense that this is unique per se.
Or it's not even bizarre in the sense that, you know, what he's done or what you all have experienced in a relationship is so crazy. Like when we say hypnotic spell, it's not like, you know, the intention is to, like, you know, have you doing whatever it is that he wants you to do.
Right.
But what I'm gonna say is that, again, I applaud him because it seems like his breadth of knowledge is pretty good when it comes to like African history. So I applaud that, and he's probably giving you some added treasures and some added sense of self that, you know, will carry you from this point on to the rest of your life, for the rest of your life. Now, so when we say bizarre, again, we're not talking about just what he's giving you, because it could be value in that, and I'm pretty sure there is. So, you know, take the value, but also get a clear sense of who you are as you extract the value from what he's giving you.
And I'll just wrap it up by saying this. You know, you said you just wanted to share. That was your last sentence. I just wanted to share and see what you think about this situation.
Did we address the sex piece?
Oh, I said no sex is like totally, you know, you kind of leave us with not knowing all the dynamics. We don't know if you're celibate because you're not married. You know, I don't know if that's a choice you're making, or if you'd like to have sex. You started out for the first 2 years and the last 4 you haven't. That, you know, from a dude's point of view, if it's not the whole marriage piece, that's odd. Like, for real. I mean, if it's not that if you're holding out for marriage and that kind of thing, understand, totally respect that. But if it's not that, come on now.
Now, he's on something else. I mean, some guys might be like that, but I don't know of any that I've come across where if you've experienced sex for 2 years and then, you know, you haven't experienced for the next 4, yeah, that's kind of interesting.
It's
because
unhealthy.
he should be building your mind as well as your sexual body. That's what he should be tending to in a relationship, because not only should your intellectual garden be watered, but your physical garden should be tended to as well. So, you know, just keep that in mind.
I want you to do this, sis. As you take all of this information in, I want you to understand that as I look at this, I think that there are a lot of positives that you've gotten from this relationship, but I also see dysfunction. And I don't say that in a judgmental way. I think everybody has dysfunction in their life in some shape or form. And sometimes we like to call that, you know, disorganization. You don't even got to say it's dysfunctional, but some things are disorganized in this setup. And so, yeah, there's something not right. There's some things out of balance. So we can't really put our finger all the way on it. And that's why I just say bizarre. So what you need to do is not romanticize your situation. You need to be able to take away what the positives are, which you have clearly laid out for us. But you have not put down any of the negatives. You have not said why it is that after all of this wonderful stuff, you want to leave them.
And if it's because
of
sex,
be real about that.
You need to put that on the table in front of him and say, this is what I require in a relationship. This is what I need. And if he can't meet that obligation, then to stimulate your mind and not your body, you know, is an incomplete relationship. He should be doing both.
But
if he's able to.
Before you do that, just take some time to yourself, because it seems like there's a very highly influential relationship that takes place between the two of you. So you talk about not being able to make a good decision about other men. I don't know if you're able to make a good decision about being able to discern what you get from him, being able to discern your situation. So you need to just spend some time with yourself and understand that dysfunction does exist and that you need to pay attention to that. And so the first step is to lay out what are the negatives. You're very clear about what the positives are. That's what we think about your situation. It's bizarre. Get real. Look at it. Ain't trying to knock all the good, but it can get gooder. You got to be the one to do it. Stop playing. Start pushing.